Welcome to ARIND channel. This is the last video of the course, Surface Modeling course. So we're just going to quickly recap everything we've covered pretty quickly in regards to SolidWorks surfacing. In the introduction, we made that cube, and we looked at the differences between solid modeling and surface modeling. We talked about first making an outer shell out of surfaces, and then knitting those together, and using that to create a solid. We also mentioned that surfaces have no thickness. Then before we actually started surfacing proper, we looked at the delete face tool. This is great for removing fillets or adjusting holes and openings in parts. Then the move face tool was quite similar in a lot of ways, but this one allows us to offset, translate, or move or rotate faces in any direction. So it allows us to very quickly adjust pre-existing parts. And it can be useful for imported parts where we don't have access to the feature tree. After that, we made our first model, the candlestick holder. This was quite a simple one, but we learned a bit about extruded surfaces and how we can trim them. We also looked at the ruled surface tool, which allows us to easily add material in a specified direction. And then we knitted all of the surfaces together, and we saw that we can easily fill the edges. And then finally we used the thicken tool, which is a great way to convert our surfaces into solids. Next, we started to look at some of the more advanced techniques by creating the hosepipe sprayer or the paint sprayer. Initially with revolved and lofted surfaces. The lofts can be quite powerful, especially when they're used with guide curves and ballpoints. Then we looked at swept surfaces, to create the simple front nozzle and also the more complex handle grip shape. With the swept surfaces, guide curves can be used to create shapes that otherwise would be very difficult to make. Next, we developed the model further by connecting the previous surface bodies using more advanced lofted surfaces. To help create these, we used the split line tool to split surfaces down into smaller multiple faces. Then we also used the filled surface tool, as well as planar surfaces and mirrored surface bodies to close off the sprayer body, so we could either knit it into a solid or we could use thicken. For the next model, we learned about the boundary surface tool. This is a bit like the lofted surface tool, but it's a bit more powerful as we can control direction 1 and direction 2 separately, rather than just using profiles and guide curves. We used this tool to create the vacuum cleaner nozzle, and then we developed that model further. Looking at how we can use things like project curve to make curves, and we also looked at the offset/copy tool and the different ways we can use that. Next, we practiced some of the tool by making the spoon model. First, we set up all the construction sketches, and then we used the boundary surface and lofted surfaces to make the spoon shape. We also learned how to use the selection manager and the extend surface tool before trimming the spoon shape and then using thicken to create a solid. After finishing the spoon model, we got into some of the more specialist surfacing tool, starting with surface flatten. We can use this to flatten the surfaces, and it can be useful in lots of different ways, especially things like creating labels or decals or making templates for prototyping. Next, we briefly looked at the surface from mesh tool that allows us to extract surfaces from 3D meshes like STL files, which are normally used for 3D printing. Then came the freeform tool. This is a very powerful way to get organic looking shapes and surfaces. We can then use these for things like cut with surface or thicken to cut. And those were the final two tools that we looked at. So that's everything we covered in this course. As we mentioned, we don't always have to use only solid modeling or only surface modeling. It's usually good to use a combination of both sets of skills to get the end result we want. Surfacing is really just another set of tools that we can layer on top of our basic solid modeling. So with that in mind, happy modeling, and good luck with your CAD careers if we are going down that route. If anyone makes any particularly cool models with surfacing, please just add them into the comment below so we can all see them and get some inspiration from those. And finally, thank you for taking and watching this course. And then for the task we can work on to complete this course, please just create a surface model using the skills we have learned to create your own surface model. Look at items around us, at your home or workplace, and find one that is particularly suited to surface modeling. Then set yourself a challenge of modeling this item. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you like. I hope it can be a little helpful and useful.